if you care about the Kurds, then maybe resign, because if the Kurds would be daring enough to think that they can be independent in any way, you have 4 countries who will gladly eradicate them. Did you ever have a conversation with your girlfriend where she was like, I swear this time he changed, he's completely different, you know, his friends, he cut ties with all his toxic friends and he has a completely new environment now and it's not going to be the same, and I really believe that this time he really changed.
Syria was handed to jihadists, so jihadists just took over. It's like coming from wars to even more wars. Over the night, things happen very fast.
And all I can think is, girl, he just changed one toxic set with another toxic set. And to be honest, I'm not even sure which one is more toxic, probably the same. And seriously, like, I know he sounds and says everything that you want to hear, but if you listen carefully, you know, when he whispers, he kind of says things that you don't want to hear and you ignore. So please listen to what he says and not to what you want to hear. And that was my situation yesterday when my friend, she's now my friend, and I had decided that we are friends unilaterally, like one-sided. I need to ask her how she feels about me as well before that, because to be honest, she's a Syrian peace activist, and that's how she talked about the new regime in Syria. And I'm so sorry, girl. I want to explain why I think that your boyfriend, and when I say boyfriend, I mean Syria, your homeland, didn't change enough to be optimistic, you see. Let's start with the friends. Yeah, right. You know the saying, apparently it's a Spanish saying originally, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Well, let's see who's the new Syria's friends are. First, we have Turkey. And Turkey went flipped. Turkey.
Türkiye, Türkiye'den daha büyüktür. Millet olarak ufkumuzu 782 bin kilometre kareyle sınırlandıramayız. İnsan nasıl kaderinden kaçarak kurtulamazsa, Türkiye ve Türk milleti de mukadderatından kaçamaz, saklanamaz. Tarihin millet olarak bize yüklediği misyonu görmek, kabul etmek ve buna göre davranmak mecburiyetindeyiz. Türkiye'nin Libya'da, Suriye'de, Somali'de ne işi var diye soranlar bu vizyonu ve misyonu idrak edemeyebilir.
Here's a video that was taken while Erdogan, the Sultan of Turkey, was given a speech in a city that is located next to Syria.
Unutmayın, gençler, men sabera zafer.
You see, the crowd was shouting, "We want Jerusalem." And his response was, patience. Patience would lead to victory. Kinda sus. And here are a bunch of cases where HTS leaders, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, is meeting up with Turkish people, let's say. Here we have, let's see what we got here, videos. Here's Jolani meeting with a Turkish foreign minister, hugs and love and so much passion. And really something seems a bit sus, really, to be honest. Another sign that might show is, not making the best choices in life. And I want to put Israel aside for a moment because I think that's the obvious. He wants to unify Syria, and he already said that, which means he wants to participate in Turkish plans to get rid of the Kurds. You see, the Kurds have been trying for decades now, and wow, more than a century they've been trying to establish a separate state for themselves where they can be Kurdish, right? Use their language, continue their customs, things like that, for more than a century. Except that's not in the interests of Syria or Iraq or Iran or Turkey, who, when, for example, the Kurds tried to establish some sort of an autonomy or maybe even a state in northern Iraq, had held a meeting with their leader, sat him down. Nobody knows what was being said in that meeting, but he came out and said, I resign. Well, they probably told him that if you care about the Kurds, then maybe resign, because if the Kurds would be daring enough to think that they can be independent in any way, you have 4 countries who will gladly eradicate them. And I'm not joking when I say it, I mean it. And I don't know if your boyfriend is in the same club as let's eradicate another nation. Suspicious, because seriously, how about you start with your own territories? You don't have to cooperate with Turkey with eliminating the threats of Turkey, even if they pay you, which they do. And say, you can say, listen, we have to work on the ground we have. We don't need the whole of Syria. Because seriously, nobody owes you anything. You're just an Islamist, a former Al-Qaeda. How about you lead Damascus first, or Aleppo, and just that, and show how great you are and beautiful. And then the Druze and the Kurds would see how great you are and be like, yeah, we want to be part of this state. No need to eradicate them. It's kind of toxic. I'd be suspicious. That's not a good boyfriend to have, girl. Country. Anyway, I'm not very optimistic. Another thing that Al-Julani said, of course, he already contacted the Qataris and wants to be great friends with them. And we know how beautiful the Qataris are. Listen, if your boyfriend is friends with country, they're toxic. Qatar is like the stamp that says, hey, that includes the US, by the way, when I say that, right? If the US cooperates with Qatar and any government officials and universities like Yale University who got money from Qatar, they didn't bother even reporting, all toxic, all very suspicious, all corrupt. So the US really do something about your cooperation with Qatar. It puts you in a very ugly light, because if you're friends with Qatar, something is wrong. Very wrong. Anyway, that's another thing. Syria is already getting close to Qatar. I don't know, suspicious. Not beautiful. And you see, the Kurds have already announced that they are willing to fight Turkey, which is incredibly brave considering that's their uniform. I can show you a video.
نحن اليوم نمر بمرحلة تاريخية وحساسة والتهديدات التركية على شعبنا.
And the Turks removed, a while ago already, they had removed the border between Syria and Turkey. There is no border there now, so that they could operate as much as they want inside of Syria and maybe annex it, it's a puppet anyway. Do I think the Arabs would cooperate with Turkey? No, I think I don't think Turkey is doing the right thing, but clearly they want to get to Jerusalem, and this is a good way to get to Jerusalem. Syria is actually in the way. If they're in Syria, they're going to get way closer to Jerusalem, so if that's their dream. The only problem, this is just, I don't know why I'm helping them, but they're not going to listen to me anyway. When you remove a border, you remove your border too. You know that, right? It's not only that you removed the border between you and Syria and now Syria is yours. That also means that Syria could take over you. You know, we don't know. It might be Turkey that would fall apart. Actually, no offense, Turkey. You have too much history with genociding, and clearly that's a very hard habit to get rid of since you continuously aim towards that holy goal. Another toxic friend is the leader of the Socialist Party in Lebanon, Walid Jubblat, who is also, I don't know, official, unofficial leader of the Druze community in Lebanon. And he is famous for not condemning Hezbollah when they hit and killed 12 Druze children in the Golan Heights in Majd al-Shams. He was justifying them. And to be honest, there are rumors that he is way more than a socialist. He's like straight up communist. But I don't know, socialism goes down the throat easier, I guess, than communism. But he's a communist anyway. He is now meeting up with al-Julani as well. Hezbollah now is not very happy that Walid Jubblat had ditched them and joined the other side, their enemies, you know, the Sunnis, the moment they became stronger. He is not a very faithful actor in this area. Kind of toxic, no offense. It sounds like, it looks like he's not acting upon his ideology, but what's convenient, you know? And he betrayed his own people. Obviously, he was against Hezbollah and then for Hezbollah. Don't know. By the way, I know al-Julani chose to use a different name for himself, but you know, I think al-Julani is better because it kind of reminds me all the time that he's going to try to mess with Israel, trying to claim the Golan Heights black. Obviously, those who live in the Golan Heights don't want to be part of his delusion or Turkey's delusion, but who cares what they want? Because clearly, these are people who are willing to get rid of every single Kurd if that's what's needed for their egos, really. So girl, I would just want to say, I love you. You're great. You're amazing. And I get it that you want to believe that your country, your boyfriend, your country is not toxic anymore. But I don't want to see you disappointed again. I'm sorry. I mean, there is hope, you know, because things are still dynamic. So we have the power to change things that we want on the ground if we want to. So. And yes, she's a peace activist, so she does care about peace with Israel. And al-Julani already announced that he wants to fight Israel. Of course, at the beginning, he wants to do it through the international community because this is the way you do it when you are weak. But I don't know, it's not going to help you, seriously, man. Not going to help you. Anyway, good luck, Syria. Good luck, Turkey. The bottom line is, though, I do hope that Syria would turn into something better, more democratic, more human rights, more secular, more scientific, more education, you know, things like that. Even though it might not be Syria, right? Syria is a fake country. I think something that is more natural to the area should arise instead of it, you know, something that wouldn't generate so much conflict as much as the fake entity that was called Syria did. But it's going to take time. And let's be hopeful that's where it's going to go because I want to see my friend happy. And I want to live in peace as well, to be honest. All right, like, comment, subscribe. I have links below if you guys want to support me, buy me coffee or Patreon. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you're welcome. And thank you for watching. See you later. Anyway, I do hope Syria is a fake country to begin with, but something more natural. Did you hear that Bashar and Asma are getting divorced? Ooh, juicy. That's the Assad couple, for the record. And here, for fun, here is a photo of Julani wearing a tie for the first time. Gorgeous. Girl, your boyfriend is still very, very toxic. I wouldn't jump into